Hey, welcome back to my channel, Just Doing Great Things. Today is chicken pot pie. Ingredients you're going to need is 2 boxes of Pillsbury pie crust, 3 large cans or 3 small cans of Veg-All, 2 pounds of chicken breast or tenderloins cut into 1-inch pieces, 3 cups of chicken stock, 1/3 cup unsalted butter, 1/3 cup all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup heavy cream, salt and pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme, chopped or 1/2 teaspoon dried thyme, 1 tablespoon fresh parsley or chopped or 1 teaspoon dried parsley, 1 egg beaten with 1 tablespoon of water to make the egg wash if you choose to use it. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, in a large pot, over medium-high heat, we're going to add the olive oil and get it so it's nice and hot. All right, when the oil is hot, we're then going to add the chicken pieces, and then we'll season them with salt and pepper, and we'll cook for around 5 to 6 minutes. I'm using tongs so that I can grab hold of the chicken pieces, but try to leave that juice behind. There's no need for that juice. I probably should have gotten rid of that juice before I started this process. And I'm going to use this wooden spatula to stir it around on a regular basis to make sure it doesn't stick. Trying not to add too much salt at first. If I need to salt it again later on, I will. But I am going to add a teaspoon of this black pepper. I'm a big fan of black pepper. And we just need to get it cooked. Now it's time to add the butter. Stir it around. We want to make sure that the chicken gets really well coated with the butter. This is the beginning of the roux that we are going to make with the butter and flour. I'll go back and stir that from time to time. And once I feel like the butter is fully coated the chicken, then I can add our flour. Now I'm going to stir this and make sure that the roux is coating everything. And I'm going to let it cook for about a minute so the roux doesn't taste gluey, if that's even a word. We can then add the chicken stock. Add the thyme and the parsley. Stir that up real good. Make sure it gets mixed in with the broth and the chicken. Then we're going to add the Veg-All. I like to use these big cans of home style Veg-All. It's got pretty good hearty size um, vegetables in it, and I just like it. It seems to work great with this recipe. Um, you know, the size you find in these opposed to the other Veg-All is significantly bigger. I'm going to make sure that gets stirred up real well. And we're going to let this cook for about 15 minutes, probably on a medium heat. Let it come to a boil and then let it sit for 15 minutes, stirring every once in a while, make sure nothing sticks. While the filling for the pot pies is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put some flour down on my sheet so I can roll out this dough. I don't like the thickness of this Pillsbury dough or this Pillsbury pie crust. I want it to be a little bit thinner. So I'm going to put a little flour on the surface, and then I'm going to put some on the rolling pin. And I'm going to try to roll this out and make it a little bit thinner. It's also going to make it go farther. Altogether, I'm going to use about 4 of these pie crust, and this is going to make about 8 of these small bowls for the pot pie. The instructions in the recipe says, grease 4 large oven-proof bowls, but I'm going with 8 small ones instead. To me, these small ones are like the pot pies I used to have when I was a kid. And I'm going to take one of the bowls and I'm going to cut it out a little bit larger than the bowl. Take that up, peel it off, and then I'm going to stack it to the side. Make sure it's going to fit, and it seems to work just fine. Some of the excess I'll trim off later on. And that looks about the right size for what I'm doing. Of course, I'm going to do that 8 times. It is now time to add the heavy cream so that we can thicken the filling. So I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of heavy cream into the mix. I'm going to get that stirred up real well. And I'm going to let that cook for about another 10 minutes. While that is cooking, I'm going to use the bowl as a guide, and this time I need to cut it perfectly around the bowl because this should fit within the rim of the bowl. It's the top. This is what's going to go on top of the pot pie, the top crust. Just like that. And I'm going to stack them to the side. I'm going to need to do that 8 times. Now it's time to start assembling the pot pies. I've got them all lined up here so I have easy access, and I'm going to put a scoop in each one of the pot pies to begin with. I'm trying to keep the filling even between all the bowls. And I'm known for being messy. Of course, I'm gonna drip here and there. That's just how I roll. Is there an easier way to do this? Probably, but this is how I'm doing it. So. I'm going to go ahead and top these off because it looks like I'm going to have plenty of filling. And there you have it. It's finally time to put the tops on. For each one of them, I'm going to grab the top, put it on there, and I'm going to kind of try to crimp it in there and make it blend in with the bottom crust. And then I'm going to trim around the edges and get rid of all that excess pie crust. Kind of clean it up a little bit, make it look somewhat attractive. I'm more of a I want it to taste good instead of being attractive, and so I'm going to do that for each one of these. All right, now we're going to have to vent these pot pies so they don't kind of blow up a little bit. So I'm going to poke holes in these in each one of them. Now, when I was a kid, I can remember us each, there's 5 of us kids, and we would put our initials, carve our initials in the top of the frozen pot pies that we were cooking for supper or lunch or whatever it was. And that was kind of a cool deal. But you do need to vent these so they don't explode. I'm going to transfer these to a cookie sheet. I put about 4 on each cookie sheet, and I want to put them on there just in case they bubble over. I don't want them burning in the bottom of my oven. So I'm going to transfer them to these cookie sheets, and they'll go into the oven for approximately 20-25 minutes until they're done. And there we go. We've got 8 chicken pot pies ready to eat. Hey, thank you for watching my channel, Just Doing Great Things. If you would, Add a like, subscribe, tell some friends, see if I can grow my channel. It'd be cool if I did. I'm going to keep trying to cook things that you people might like to make yourself. And most of the recipes are going to be simple. And hopefully you'll have a good time. Tune in next week and I'm going to try to have another video. Thanks for watching.